Hi, everyone. This is Troy. Happy Halloween. I hope your service learning experience is elevating you to a new level. This is the goal, to grow and to develop as a leader. Make sure, though, that you're staying healthy, eating right, and getting sleep. The work can be overwhelming at times. I wanted to offer my experience with power, oppression, and discrimination at my service learning location. Critical inquiry. That's the process of gathering and evaluating information, ideas, and assumptions from multiple perspectives to produce well-reasoned analysis and understanding, and leading to new ideas, applications, and questions. There's a difference between critical reflection and critical inquiry. And while you're at your service location, you want to be objective and see if you can find any kind of power, oppression, or discrimination. So you want to make sure you can characterize it when you see it. I work with landlords at the Opportunity Alliance and advocate for tenants. It's interesting. I was thinking the word landlord itself denotes a power differential. It comes from medieval times in the feudal system, where royalty owned the lands. It's interesting how power artifacts such as words persist into our modern world. They are specifically discriminatory, and I do witness that at my service learning. For instance, I have tenants that have breathing conditions, right? And so they open the window for fresh air, and the landlord would see the window open and charge them an extra $250 a month for losing heat. Tenants do not know their rights. They often pay illegal fees by virtue of fear or ignorance of the law. The landlords take advantage of these moments of power. These situations can be fleeting, or they can persist as a system of oppression, discrimination, or power. In this case, it's actually discrimination and power because the person has a medical condition. But I have been advocating, and I actually call the landlords directly and explain this to them, and sometimes they don't know. The letters from Birmingham jail were a very interesting read. Dr. King is quite eloquent. He speaks about moral responsibility to obey just laws and to disobey unjust laws. He quotes St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law at all. He writes that a just law is a man-made code that squares with the moral law or the law of God, and that an unjust law is a code that is out of harmony with the moral law. Any law that degrades human personality is unjust. Dr. King believes it's our duty to use nonviolent civil disobedience with unjust laws, but we must do so openly, lovingly, and be willing to accept the penalty. This disobedience raises the consciousness of those that are asleep to injustice. It's also interesting from a critical inquiry to consider how Dr. King considers the radical white supremacist. He feels like the extremes have less of an impact on perpetuating discrimination than the white moderate. He characterizes the white moderate as more devoted to order than to justice. I found this fascinating. I feel accused, and rightly so. I do not advocate strongly enough for civil rights. My work at TOA is enlightening, and I have noticed my privilege, and that's helped me to see power, discrimination, and oppression more clearly. But I have more work to do. Critical inquiry is important for your service learning, but critical self-reflection is also important to examine how our own privilege and how we fit into the system of oppression as it is designed. So I encourage you to, as you do your reading, when you come across an interesting knowledge nugget, think about it, reflect on it. If you've got 20 pages to read, but you get to page 10 and you're like, wow, and a light bulb turns on, that's more important than getting through the 20 pages. What's important is that you're learning something, that you're gaining from the information, and you're reflecting upon that. You want to tie that into your service learning and align those two. Bring the classroom text into the service learning and vice versa. So I hope you have a great week.